DDG episode 233. My name is Dave. I'm joined by Michael.
You know, Dave, for about 2-3 weeks, I've had a Coca-Cola Oreo soda sitting in my fridge, waiting to record, but I'm too afraid to open it.
Yeah, because you might we have a reversal of fortune on air.
Yeah, they made a hell drink of Coca-Cola with Oreo flavor, zero sugar Coke, which is just
the
like
cookie doesn't even look appetizing to me. I don't mind Oreos, but I just like regular Oreos. I'm not. My daughter, like my wife Angela, loves Sour Patch Kids, and she brought home those Sour Patch Oreos. And Angela's she's like, okay, they kind of taste like Sour Patch Kids, but she's like, I don't want that in a cookie.
Yeah, no. Anytime Oreo does anything fancy, I'm just like, I'll just have a regular Oreo. But even then, like, I'm the type of person that, like, if I have like a package of Oreo cookies in my house, it's going to be in my house for like weeks because I'm only going to take one every couple days. Or
I
don't
have any. I don't have any diet self-control like that. I just smash the whole thing.
No. Thing is, if it's a Chip Ahoy's thing, I'm destroying that within a couple days. But Oreos, I can't do
you put an S on the end of days. Mine is that day.
Yeah, no. Then it was probably dangerous when they came into. When they came in the individual sleeves, that was probably dangerous for you.
Yep. The Sam's Club stuff where you get the case of them at Sam's Club and you pull out the whole sleeve of like 15 cookies. And like once you open it, like if you leave it open, it's going to go bad. It's going to go stale.
That's the logic I used to have when I was a fat kid. when I was a fat kid, that was my logic of like, well, I can't let this go bad. My family's poor. This is wrong.
All right, so we are Digital Days Gaming. We are typically a weekly podcast that posts every Thursday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern time. I do apologize. Michael knows a little bit of it. My life is a roller coaster currently, and it's not even me or my direct family. Like, it's not me. Angela's fine. My kids are fine. My soon-to-be grandkid, as far as I know, is fine. It's just the upper arc of my family. There is some crazy stuff going on outside of what I would call like my four walls, which is causing me some mental angst. I'm gonna just be honest. Like, there's days that I just do not give a damn. So that's kind of what's going on. So I'm good, like, overall. Like, there's this, like, physically I'm good, but there's things that are just affecting me to where that's part of I already wasn't playing very much as it was, but now it's even less currently right now, just because any free time I have has been dedicated to some underlying issues within my family. But that is
I wouldn't call you a control freak, but when things are out of your control, it really bothers you.
So but yes, again, like, I appreciate a couple of you have reached out and everything like that, and that's super nice. That's super awesome. I'm good. My like directly, my wife's job, my job, everything is great for us, and there's just this crap that's going on, and it's just not fun. So that's kind of where you're getting a little bit of the inconsistency. If you guys think I don't have as much energy as I normally do, I'm sorry, but that's kind of just what's going on. But it's still important for me to try to maintain some type of routine and regularity, and obviously, like, this community is important. So, and I also have work stuff going on. Like, next week I'm going to Vegas for a couple of days, and it's just everything's just popping up. So,
you gonna play the slots?
I don't know. I've never. So here's a fun fact. I've never gambled at all.
Yeah, I didn't until a couple years ago. Yeah. It's not that fun, but just
I've never placed a bet on a book. Yeah. I've placed bets with friends, like, $10, and I've done like March Madness pools, like $15 buy-in. I've done fantasy football stuff, but I've never I'm going to pick the Lions to cover the 22-point spread. Like, I've never done that. I understand how it all works. I'm actually afraid to do that kind of stuff, because then I was like, I won, and I just keep going. Like, it'd be bad.
Yeah. So, I would say, get like $100 for gambling. And once that $100 is gone, you just walk away. You have enough self-control that I feel like
you think better of me than I think of myself. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Or put that money to a really nice steak dinner, because every hotel has a really good steak house.
That's the worst part, is I'm on company dime. Like I get a meal per diem.
Yeah, there you go. Just one meal a day then, so you can get one really good steak dinner and treat it like E3, where we only eat once a day. Just
So they're, like, I'm
nutri-
getting the whole thing, like, oh, the FAQ and the frequently asked questions and the tips, like, oh, wear good shoes. I'm like, shut up. I'm walking. I got this. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm like looking
You're
at,
like,
the hotel
I'm
I'm
a
staying
manager
at.
that walks.
Yeah, the hotel I'm staying at's like 25-minute walk to like the big Nike store. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get some new shoes.
So any distance for Vegas is a lie. Like everything is way further than what
Even on the
Google Maps
Google
says.
really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's one, and also the heat just makes it seem way longer.
Okay.
But the only good thing is, when I was in Vegas, I never had an Uber that was more than like $10-15.
Right. I have to look at that.
So,
but you know
yeah.
me. You know me well enough. We've done some stuff well enough. I can hold my own. I can walk.
Oh no, I can too. Like
Yeah.
you know me, but
Yeah.
there was a time where it was a chore to just go across the street to the Walgreens.
Yeah. But a
Because the
30
streets are
minute
super
walk
long.
doesn't bother me.
No, yeah, but
Yeah.
added with the heat and just their sidewalks just aren't made for walking for the
Yeah.
most part.
Angel's worried
You'll-
about me walking around Vegas without a wedding ring on because my wedding ring currently doesn't fit me. So I
Aluminum
was like,
foil.
yeah, I was like, well, isn't it better? It's probably better for me to walk around Vegas without a wedding ring than with a wedding ring, because with a wedding ring, I would just be a higher target, right? Like they
Yeah,
just
with a wedding ring, they'll be like, and they don't see the wife or kids. They're
Yeah.
gonna be like, that's a dad looking for some fun. So
See, I
you're
told
probably
you,
better.
like it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's just he's just he's here on a bachelor's thing. We don't want anything to do with him. He doesn't
Yeah.
have any foundation. He's not married.
He's wearing a tiger's head. He's probably broke.
Yeah. Okay. How's that
Yeah.
130 losses there taste there, buddy?
Oh no! If I wear the White Sox hat, they'll think I'm homeless. Like, they'll be like, "Oh,
we're going to the game Friday night when they play the White Sox too. It's
Oh, cool.
it's
So
like a
hopefully they
fully packed
they
out
win.
stadium and them in a playoff chase right now, man. I'm so geeked. They're in
no.
the
I
playoffs
hope
right
the
now.
White
so-
Sox win the next couple games, so their record-tying law or the
Yeah.
record-breaking loss will happen in front of you.
Yeah. So.
Fuck that team.
And
should talk about video games.
You lost that many games, and we took your announcer.
I know, and I think I'm more upset about the announcer than
Yeah.
I am about anything else.
All right, so back to that. You can catch us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Digital
Shit, we didn't
Days
get that
Gaming.
far?
Yeah, I'm gonna go quick. YouTube.com/Digital Days Gaming, and check out the website digitaldaysgaming.com. You can and all the show stuff is linked in the show notes. So, all right, you're gonna tell me about some guy's name I can't pronounce, and he's retiring apparently.
Yep, Tetsuya Nomura is considering retirement. This is the creator of Kingdom Hearts, a couple of the favorite Final Fantasy games out there, 13, 15, art director for Final Fantasy 7. So he did an interview recently and basically said at 53 years old, he's thinking about retiring and thinking about hanging it up. And with the development of Kingdom Hearts 4 happening now, he's basically approaching this Kingdom Hearts game as going to be the benchmark in terms of if he's going to retire and how he wants to approach the game.
This
He
this
says he
dude has
wants to-
worked for Square Enix since he was like 20.
Yes, if you look at his wiki, he was a debugger on Final Fantasy 4.
Okay, I'm like, wait, he's 10 years older than me, 11 years older than me,
Yeah.
and I was like, and he's been with Square Enix since '91. I'm like, wait a minute, I was born in
He was
'83. I'm trying to do some
was-
backwards math here, and I'm not great at that, but I'm like,
Yeah.
huh, this guy was born in
He
like
was-
'72.
He was QA for Final Fantasy 4. Like that's how long he's been there. So basically, he is approaching Kingdom Hearts 4 as trying to make it as complete of a story as possible. That doesn't mean Kingdom Hearts will not continue after 4, but he wants to make sure his loose ends are finally tied.
This game ain't coming out till
Before-
2027.
Yeah. So
At the
he's 53
earliest.
right now. Yeah. And this will probably, be his last game based on how long this is going to take to develop and if he wants to retire. Though I think Square would probably put him in some sort of like Miyamoto like role that he currently kind of is, because he does art stuff from time to time for the mainline Final Fantasy games. He's collaborated with Final Fantasy 14. I think he also helped out with 16. So he continues to still work with Square outside of Kingdom Hearts. So I imagine we could be on a run where, Kingdom Hearts will release for the next couple of years and then he'll probably retire. In between that, we'll probably get some remasters of some of the Final Fantasy games that he worked on
Mm-hmm.
as like a going away thing, because they would probably want to get his input on some of those remasters.
Yeah.
But this could be a big moment for, Square Enix, because this has been someone integral.
Yeah.
This is their Miyamoto,
Yeah, like from
almost not quite Miyamoto.
yeah,
But
a remake remaster standpoint. I think at this point, I mean, everybody I think would want like 8, 9, 10, right? Like
yeah,
that's
and there's rumors that like 9 are in active development. There's been a big push for 13 because 13 was that game that like didn't get the love that it
yeah.
might have deserved when it first released.
The world
Uh,
wasn't ready for that game or what they were
Basically,
doing
yeah.
in that game, like well before its time. And now everybody's like, "Well, that'd be really cool." Now, like, okay, they were just 5 years early.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that like they can do to like utilize his talents and his input still, and then also like honor his like
Yeah.
long work history with Square Enix. So yeah, this is a pretty big one, and just like hearing Nomura is like 53, and he's getting close to retirement. Just reminds me of how many like marquee names we have in the video game industry that are close to that retirement age. It's kind of
like
scary.
it's like we talked about before when the ball player becomes a manager. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And
Basically,
now,
yeah.
And now these guys are either at this point in time in our lifetime, with your age and my age, like there's people that are passing away that were like, no way.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like even passing away after living a good life, and you still are like, no way. And then now like these people that are like, okay, I'm 60 years old. I want to hang out with my grandkids and not make video games. We're like, no, go back and make Ocarina of Time. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and or like, hey, go do the Miyamoto role where it's like, hey, like be a advisor. Like Miyamoto hasn't directed a Zelda game in a really long time, or a Mario game.
Get on Zoom or Teams like once a week and still have a say. Like,
yeah,
you can do it from your beach house. It's okay.
Yeah, so this is a big thing for like Japanese game development, just game development in general. Just seeing someone who's like kind of thinking of retirement, and we're going to be in that range in the next 10 years where you're going to hear a lot of like brand name or household name.
I think for me the one that's going to hurt, and I don't even know how old he is off the top of my head, but like when Druckmann says he doesn't want to make games anymore, I'm like, oh, okay, like ow.
Yeah. Well, like right now he's probably in his like prime, to where we got a good run in him. But like Tim Schafer is like 57.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's older than Nomura. So there's a ton of names, and not all of them can afford to retire early like Cliffy B basically did.
Did you see his tweet about Concord?
He is, what, if anyone can sympathize with Concord's failure, it could be the creator of Lawbreakers and whatever that battle royale game he tried to make at one point. Like he definitely is feeling the Concord discourse.
But in measures of this guy, like for you, like this is a pretty big deal for you. Like you are, Kingdom Hearts is on your Mount Rushmore video game franchises, right?
Yeah. I mean, like Sarah's got a Kingdom Hearts engagement ring, like it's one of those things. So like hearing he's going to retire is definitely a shame. I really hope he does his last Kingdom Hearts game, which is going to be 4 apparently. I hope it is as complete of a Nomura story as possible, because Square is not going to let it die.
Right.
If anything, Square is like, cool, once Nomura retires, we're going to start pumping this shit out way faster, because we don't have
Kingdom Hearts games as a service.
Yeah, because right now, like Kingdom Hearts is, like his vision, so they're not trying to overstep that bounds. But once he retires, they could just go crazy. And it could work out well for them because, you put fans that grew up with the game in charge of the future of the franchise. It could work out, or it could be terrible. We'll see what happens with that. Kingdom Hearts 4, expect that. Okay, so I did get Kingdom Hearts in my 30s, Kingdom Hearts 3. So, like, maybe sometime in my 40s I can get Kingdom Hearts 4. Maybe that'll work out. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on. Next one is a random announcement from Sega. They revealed a new Like a Dragon Yakuza game called Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So this is going to be a standalone spin-off for the franchise that will feature fan favorites Majima, so everyone's favorite eye patch Joker-esque character from Like a Dragon. This will be coming out February 28th for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series S, X, and PC. This is going to be action adventure game, not an RPG like the other two Like a Dragon games have been. And this is just Sega just kind of getting to a rhythm where they released 2 Like a Dragon Yakuza games this year, and February of next year they have another one coming in hot. So we'll see how this goes. This definitely if you're gonna milk this franchise, doing fan service stuff by grabbing like a fan favorite character and spinning them off is definitely the way to go. We'll see if that works out, but they seem to be in a pretty good rhythm right now with their release cadence.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Uh,
Yakuza's not a thing that I've ever like even dipped my toe in at all. There are people that absolutely love those games, and it sounds like they are tons and tons of fun. I take it back. When I was with Roy in Toronto, he made me play like 20 minutes of a Yakuza game, and I didn't hate it. I don't remember which one I played, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it was probably 5 or 6, something like that.
Yeah, something recent.
It wasn't
yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't have been one of the RPG ones because that was turn based.
Right. No, it wasn't that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it's a great franchise. It is growing rapidly. Sega definitely like. This is another thing. The head of the Yakuza studio left like 5 or 6 years ago, and once that person left, or like went to go form a new studio, they just started to pump out these Yakuza games like left and right.
Right.
Shows you how sometimes a change in leadership can redirect the franchise, because now they're borderline annual releases, and so far it's been working out for them. So it's just a matter of how far Sega could go before it goes wrong. All right, let's get into like the PlayStation corner. This next story hit early last week, so we missed it because we didn't do an episode. But Sony reportedly signs AMD for PS6 development. So this report came out that AMD beat out NVIDIA and other chip makers for the contract with PlayStation to develop the PlayStation 6. This will continue the relationship AMD has established since the PS4. While it seems super early to talk about PS6 development, like they just talked about the PS5 Pro like a week prior to this, this should help the transition between console generations go way smoother, because they're not going to be changing architecture too drastically by sticking with AMD. But I saw a lot of people freaking out that like they were talking about PS6, but that's just how this takes years to develop. Like they literally just signed a contract with AMD, so now they're working on it. Got to figure it out.
And obviously, being PS4 to PS5 to PS6, like staying consistent is always is a good thing in terms of backwards compatibility and cross-platform development and everything like that. Like, why change what's functioning so well? Because maybe you go to NVIDIA and you're at the point where you are truly competing with a console that is a PC. But you can almost argue that the Pro is getting to that level now, because people are like, well, you can spend $700 on a Pro, or you can spend like $1,100 on a PC and have all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, like, yeah, you could probably spend $700 on a PC and have a close to what you can get out of a Pro. Close, not consistently, but then you also don't have the games that, like the first party games that Sony has. Well, not yet. At least PCs are getting them more. So, but yes, consistency is always good as long as they're willing to keep their partnership going. So this is more what I would file under par for the course.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it probably cuts maybe like a year or two off like the potential release for this. Because they're not going to have to try and figure out how to make things compatible or reteach their first party studios how to function with some of their hardware.
At its core, it's still, yes, I understand that PS3 beat Xbox 360 like worldwide sales and stuff like that, but at its core, I think if you went and really talked to somebody that was like the head of development for the PS3, the cell processor direction was probably a mistake. Now it was a mistake that they owned, and they embraced, and they said, okay, this is our bed. Like, now we have to make it and build around it. And they did a fantastic job of doing that. But I think if, like figuratively put a gun to somebody's head that was making the console and say, biggest mistake you made on PS3, the first word out of their mouth would be cell processor.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it might be boring that they're not going to do anything drastically different for the PS6, but they don't need to do anything drastically different in order to be successful.
Nope. They just need to get their first party studios pumping games out, just like Microsoft needs to get their first party studios pumping games out.
And I think that's why they ultimately stuck with AMD, is because it'll make backwards compatibility just a little bit easier to do.
Yep.
And they need backwards compatibility because the game development just takes way too long now. So you need to make sure you have stuff for people to play, because now we're looking at, during the PS4 era, it was like 3 to 4 years for game development. This era, we're looking at like 6 years minimum to develop a game.
100% increase. 100% increase in development time is not a good thing. Like, it's, I mean, it's it's what the customer expects in terms of quality and content and what you're getting out of it. But the development times are just way too long. So,
and I don't think we're going to see a fix unless something changes with the market, which is still possible. But it does require both players and developers to agree on a medium, which I don't think either of them are going to agree to. But yeah, this is good news. I know some people were rolling their eyes because, PS5 Pro was announced and then this story came out. But that's just how it goes. We're probably still a good, 5 years away from
4 years from hearing the words publicly on stage, probably.
Yeah, 4 years from hearing about it, 5 years from playing it.
Yeah.
So we'll review this in 2029. And then finally, we got a PlayStation State of Play to talk about. So I have the PlayStation blog article here for me and Dave to reference, but I just kind of grabbed the stuff that I thought me and Dave would be interested in talking about. So I'm just going to go through this list. Astro Bot is getting a free DLC. So some more robots, some more maps, that sort of thing. That is going to arrive this fall. And again, it's going to be free content, which is always good. As someone who platinumed Astro Bot and then didn't know what to do with their life afterwards, because I kind of wanted more, but I got the platinum, so there was no more for me to do. Then we got Hell Is Us, a post-apocalyptic Souls-like. This game was very trippy because when I first saw it, I thought it was Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of intrigued by this game, and then I'm a little terrified now that you wrote the word Souls-like after it. But
it looked very Souls-like.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get that vibe right off the bat, but I also was just kind of more fascinated by the enemy animation and the third person hack and slash. I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I mean, I guess maybe I'm old. I know I'm getting old, but I don't like the name Hell Is Us. I'm sorry.
No, and I imagine it's not because hell's in the title.
Yeah.
It's a weird sentence or weird phrase.
Yeah,
Hell Is
it
Us.
just doesn't it's what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go home and play Hell Is Us. So it's
you have to say the words
Hell
very slowly.
Is Us.
Yeah.
So,
maybe it'll be. Remember,
but it
people
looked
were getting The Last
fantastic.
of Us.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. So I'm actually more interested in the story, which is not usually a focal point of Souls games, correct?
What was that? Sorry.
Story beat, in terms of a good narrative story. Most of it's around the combat and your spells and your potions. Yeah, so that's gonna if it is versus more of a narrative driven linear story of I kind of what are these things, what are we doing, well, who am I, that was what I got from that trailer. But
yeah. But as soon as they showed the actual combat, there definitely was a huge blend of different games in there. Art style looked I thought it was a Kojima game.
Yeah.
Then I saw some of the combat and I was like, oh, cool. So this is a Souls-like game. And then I saw the bosses, and the bosses were just way more animated, cartoony, almost comic bookish with some of their designs. And I was like, okay, this seems like a cool blend of a bunch of different things. So it definitely has my interest in it. We'll just see how Souls-like it actually is, because that could make or break the sort of game.
Yeah.
We did get some VR2 news, both in the beginning and towards the end. The one that stood out to me the most was Metro VR2. Yeah, sorry. So
Metroid VR. What?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But Metro VR2. This is, I don't know if this was already announced or anything like that, but of franchises that could transition really well to PSVR, this seemed like a cool idea to do.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. I'm not a Metro guy. I haven't really played them before. The thing that I was the most, and I'm trying not to be negative about this, but the thing I was most put off about this, and it's still my problem with VR, is just the fucking floating hand. It's I'm sorry. Can we get a forearm?
I don't know, but this definitely looked pretty good. Coming November 7th, so it must have been previously announced.
Other than that, it looks phenomenal. The world that they build and putting it in VR, because this this looked great. You don't have it on your punch list, but that's fine. even the Hitman VR looked.
I have it towards the end because they
Okay.
separated them.
Oh,
So
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I see it now.
Hitman,
Yeah, I see it.
yeah.
The dual
We'll talk about
wielding.
both.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the dual wielding of the weapons and like that. I was like, that's kind of what I would like to see in VR, like a little bit of like the true,
Yeah.
dual wielding. And I thought that looked really good. I don't think it was necessarily Hitman VR, but I think it was with Metro. I think that they're saying that it's playable on PlayStation and PSVR. Or I thought I saw that on some of the games they showed.
Some of the games. So I believe it was what was that other game? There was a really stylish.
Yeah, like
game.
gray.
Was it the?
Yeah.
Was it the Midnight Walk?
Okay, maybe that's
with the little flaming pot.
Yeah.
Character.
Okay.
That was playable in both PS5 and PSVR 2.
Yeah.
But Hitman looked great, especially Hitman can be as silly as you want it to be. Like you can play it like a straight up like assassination game.
Yeah. Or
you could play
Uber
it
stealth
silly.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, you can play it super stealthy or you can play it silly. And in VR, that just seems like the perfect sort of game. And I believe the original Hitman did have some PSVR.
Yeah. Just walking up and like pistol whipping somebody in VR. Like I think that.
Oh yeah.
Like.
So that it's good to see that that's going to get like PSVR 2 support and shows that there's still working with third parties to get some content out for the platform that is just dying. The next one, which was funny, Pal World Shadow dropped on PlayStation. Earlier this week, we found out Nintendo was suing Pal World for copyright infringement. So it's just a funny shadow drop that I wonder if there was some debate on like, do we put this in or pull this from the state of play?
You're gonna get some players. You're gonna hear a lot of people talking about Pal World again, because it's on PlayStation. It's on the box that sells 3-1 or whatever. So like you're gonna see this come front and center. It was already getting a lot of hype when it was on Game Pass and on PC Game Pass as well, I believe, as a different version. But then also the PC version of the game and Xbox version of the game are really good. So putting this on the winning console is a great idea.
Yep. And then the
regardless of this lawsuit, which I don't think Nintendo's going to win.
I have a feeling Nintendo, it took them a year to file the lawsuit because they were building as much evidence as possible. Nintendo does not waste their lawsuits. They have like a undeniable track record of lawsuit wins.
I get it, but I also think it's going to be to the point of time of like, okay, yeah, people are going to copy you. Like you are the standard.
Yeah. It will be one of those things where like Nintendo will probably win, but it's not going to mean Pal World disappears forever. It just means Nintendo gets a little cut for everything. So
hence why they're trying to get it on PlayStation as fast as they can, so they can make that cut, write that check soon.
Yeah, they're like, oh, maybe we can get the lawsuit to say we'll pay any copy going forward and make some money that way. Without having to worry about losing too much. But yeah, Pal World, that's a huge game. Like PlayStation people have been like waiting for that for a while. Then we got our first set of like remasters. A Lunar remastered collection is coming very soon, I believe. I got to pull up the actual release date for that one. But yeah, it's good to see the Lunar games, like RPGs from like the PS1 era, Sega Saturn era too.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Coming out, it's both games remastered, pixel style still. Looks fantastic.
Spring 2025.
Spring 2025.
Yep.
So we're still seeing like a lot of these RPGs from that era that's kind of been overshadowed by like Final Fantasy games
and Tales of Symphonia, like stuff like but this looked cool, like that old school like snake party system that I call, like when you're walking, like your whole team is like following you. You didn't put it on here either, which is fine. I was actually intrigued by this Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver.
Yeah.
I don't recall playing these. But Soul Reaver 1. Yeah, Soul Reaver 1 and 2. I can't read then if you wrote it on there.
Yeah, I put it in the order they were announced, and they did spread that out. But Legacy of Kain Remastered Collection.
Oh, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's why I was looking for Soul Reaver. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, so we got
to some Darksiders vibes.
Oh yeah, you could definitely see Darksiders was inspired by the Legacy of Kain series. That is something I'm super excited about. I know a bunch of people that love those games, and it's one of those franchises that you hear about people being like, "Why is no one playing with this franchise?" I want to say, hold on, gonna vamp for me real quick.
Well, while you're digging on that, I'm getting every time I see this game, I'm getting slightly more intrigued by Dragon Age.
I think this could be the one gameplay wise it fits because it's the tone fits your playstyle.
Yeah, the animation looks cool and all that stuff. Yeah.
Legacy of Kain, Amy Hennig was a designer on that franchise.
Okay, that makes me even want to play it even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like every time, there has not been a single thing that Dragon Age Veilguard has shown me that I'm like, nope, I'm out. And usually that ends up happening with Dragon Age or BioWare games of like, I'm like, oh, really cool. Oh, that's cooler. Oh, that's cooler. And then they show something like, nope, see ya. And that has not happened yet, and we're about a month away from launch. So I'm very, very, very intrigued by this. This might be something I have to look into it a little bit, but might make me do that EA Origins thing again, or EA whatever they call it, that I can just mess with it on the PC and see if I like it. The subscription. Just because it's easier for me. Like, I know everybody's gonna roll their eyes and others like, no, if I hate it, then I cancel it after a month. If I love it, I buy the game, or I keep the monthly thing going. Like, suck it.
Yeah, you're in for $14.
Yeah,
like, whatever. Yeah. And there's other EA games you need to finish anyway.
Yeah, so I'm like, but yeah, like, so I mean, okay, like the dragon fight looked really cool. The characters, the animation, like all that stuff looks really cool. I know that there's probably still that romance thing over there. Like it can stay over there. Like maybe.
Yeah, but you don't have to engage with it.
Yeah. But the gameplay looks phenomenal. Like it looks fantastic. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, this might get me to try. So
this seems like the combat system that they made for this game seems like they were like, you know what? Let's treat this as like a soft reboot. Like it's continuing the story from Inquisition, but in a way that you don't need that story. Yeah. And BioWare's really good at giving you like some sort of recap before you start the game of some of the stuff you need to know. But it's completely new cast of characters. There's just like one or two characters in your party. I think it's just one character in your party that's from Inquisition, and then the bad guy is technically from Inquisition.
Don't get me wrong. I'm terrified of a 30 or 40 hour, 60 hour game, but at the same time, I would love to lose myself in a game. Like, love it. And I hope that I can find a game that I can lose myself in. But this might be it. I don't know, but I'm willing to try. And now that I keep seeing stuff and I keep talking to you about it, a lot of times when I was talking to you about like Baldur's Gate, you're like, no, Dave, don't care. No, Dave.
Yeah. Well, especially Baldur's Gate, I don't think you would have dug the playstyle of Baldur's Gate, and then the romance stuff was pretty important,
which is fine. Yeah, I mean, like, I respect those games like tremendously, but I understand that certain things are for me, certain things aren't for me. Like, I get it. But so far, nothing has made me want to not play this game.
Yeah, unless they tell you it's a 100-hour game to see the ending, but I doubt that's the case.
I still don't even know if that would turn me away right now. So
yeah. But gameplay-wise, this seems like the most friendly the franchise has been in terms of getting new players into this play style. So this could be a really good game, and it would just BioWare. It would help BioWare so much because BioWare has been one of those dead studios walking situations after the last couple of releases they had. So this could be huge for them.
This is hitting at a great time at the end of October, before November, and I know we're going to talk about it, but now Assassin's Creed ran away. Like this is lining up for BioWare to be like, I am BioWare. Like, and I hope they can do it. Even if I don't play it, I hope they can pull it off because similar to like sports references, I think that when BioWare is good, the gaming industry is in a good place. Yeah. And it also could lead to them getting like a pretty easy game of the year potentially because there isn't too much competition this year. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up turning out. We definitely we took the day off from work for this game. I think it comes out on a Friday, but it comes out on Halloween, bro.
Yeah, is Halloween on a Friday this year?
I don't know. October 31st is Halloween. That's when it comes out. I would assume that's a Tuesday.
It's a Thursday.
Okay,
it's a Thursday. Okay, so we might have to take 2 days off. We'll figure that out when we come across it. But yeah, so that was Dragon Age, and then we got a trailer for Alan Wake 2, The Lake House, which definitely had some Control vibes in it. Very atmospheric trailer. I just love the style of this trailer. I need to play and finish Alan Wake 2. I started Alan Wake 2, never finished it.
Cool. Y'all can have it. Look great.
Yep.
Y'all can have it.
Yeah. But it definitely had like a lot of nods to Control. At least that's what I took away from it.
Yep. I thought it was Control at first.
Yeah. Well, because they did the CIA logo or whatever. The Bureau logo. So we already talked about Hitman 2, Legacy of Kain. The next one is Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster coming to PS5 and PC. $9.99 upgrade for PS4 owners. This is basically just going to bring Zero Dawn up to the standard of what the fuck? Forbidden West. I was
Yeah,
like, what was the
yeah.
silly name?
Visual
So yeah.
fidelity of Forbidden West. I don't hate this idea. Like I don't. Is this the third version of this game?
Well, no, there was a
An upgrade.
PS4 patch
Yeah.
for the game.
A PS5 patch.
The PS4 Pro patch, and
Yeah.
I think the PS5 got some benefits of
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
I love the $9.99 upgrade thing. I don't know why they're not doing it with Until Dawn. I think that's a huge mistake for not doing it with Until Dawn. If beggars could be choosers, and I know they can't be, this whole like linking your like Steam account with PSN or whatever they want you to do with like Helldivers and at the time, Concord, rest in peace.
and then God of War, I think they just pulled the
Yeah,
PSN
right.
stuff from.
So I would love for me as a personal, this would be a great game for me to play on my PC and push my PC, but I'm not willing to spend another $60 on it. So if I do end up playing this again, it would be just a $10 upgrade on my PS5, which is fine. I just wish that like they would go fully embrace the PC style right now with this game and like, oh, okay, your PSN account is linked to your Steam account. You get this game for $10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because you you already spent $60 on it or whatever, I don't know. So I'll be super curious with that. And then I don't know if at its core, like now verbalizing this, I don't know if my PS Plus redemption for this works as a $9.99 purchase.
I know when that's always thing. It's always kind of confusing with
Yeah.
that stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. So yeah.
Personally, I'm so fucking tired of these remasters from Sony's, these upgrades from Sony. I want new things, but I know
I agree, but the distance is long enough for this one for me.
It is, but on top of all the other ones that they are doing and have lined up, I'm just kind of like, I'm done with it. I know I just said, oh, cool, Lunar remaster, ooh,
Right.
a Legacy of Kain remaster, but those are even longer.
Yeah, those are like
of a time.
like high school or middle school for us. Like,
Yeah, and for some of those, they're franchises that have been kind of lost to time. There's nothing stopping you from loading Horizon Zero Dawn on your PS5 right now.
Yeah.
It already got a PS5 a 4 Pro
Yep. No,
update that runs.
you're
pretty good.
100% right, but at least it's only $10.
Yeah, unless you want to pick it up,
Right.
brand new, then you pick up the $50, $60 game that it is. Yeah, I'm just kind of tired of it because it just makes me think of like, okay, so we're a long ways from the next Guerrilla game, even though I know Forbidden West just happened.
Yep.
Then we got a PS5 Pro montage, which I think was a better montage than what we got during the fucking PS5 Pro reveal.
100% agreed. Like if they would have shown this first and then like a week later let Cerny talk for 10 minutes about it, I think this would have gone over a lot better because this is making me go,
A full list of games that are coming. A full thing. So much better presented. Even though it was like like a minute?
Yeah.
Like that was it. They showed a bunch of different games running, and they looked great. It just made more sense as this. I almost feel like they shouldn't have done the PS5 Pro presentation as a standalone thing. Feel like they should have just threw that 8 minutes at the end of this, and then I think we would have had a better reaction to the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, maybe.
Just not great. But we did get a big reveal. So the big reveal, which also should have probably just been during the PS5 Pro reveal, was Ghost of Yutai from Sucker Punch. So we got a Ghost of Tsushima sequel coming in 2025 from Sucker Punch. So Dave, I was right. Sucker Punch was ready, waiting to release their game, and this tied in with the PS5 Pro stuff because this is going to utilize the PS5 Pro stuff. So yeah, this looked fantastic. I don't know why you wouldn't have just put this at the end of the PS5 Pro presentation just to give people something new to look at. But I don't want to dwell on that too much and take away from what looks like a fantastic sequel based off that trailer.
So you've played Ghost of Tsushima, correct?
Yes,
you almost completed it.
Almost completed it, like 3/4 of the way through.
Is it as bright as they're showing this game?
It has
like
its moments,
colors. Yeah. Okay, because this game looked phenomenally bright and great, and almost enough that I'm like, okay, like, do I really need to go play Ghost of Tsushima? I mean, I do. I know I do. But like, do I need to play it sooner? Because the thing that was even the more intriguing about it is 2025.
Yeah, I would honestly say, Dave, if you're looking for a game to get you back into it, Ghost of Tsushima would probably fit perfect
Yeah,
for stuff, especially get the director's cut on the PS5,
I think I have. I
and
mean, we bought it. I think my son's played it. My oldest has played it.
which I think
Um,
then has a $9.99 upgrade
yeah.
for the PS5 director's
So,
cut.
yeah, I mean, it's always been on my list, but you know, like this looked like super just vibrant and you know, like, and of course I'm seeing all the crap about a female protagonist. Like, shut up! Like, it looked awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It looked amazing. The 2025 date, like again, okay, like we'd have to assume this is what, August, September, October 2025, right?
Yeah, I could see this being
So,
summer.
not to rain on the parade of what they showed, the Ghost of if I don't even know if I'm saying it right, Yotai.
Yotai.
Yeah.
I'm saying Yotai.
Okay.
I wish they would have said the name at the end of the
Yeah.
trailer.
What does this mean for Wolverine?
Well,
Like-
Wolverine is Insomniac. I could still see them both releasing in the same year.
That's tight. Like that's I mean, like I know
If this
Sony.
is a
I know
summer
Sony's
release.
done it before. Like you know, we've seen Spider-Man, we've seen God of War in the same calendar year. Like I get it. I'm not disputing it. But in terms of like when you shove so much stuff, like if they're gonna try to shove one or two or even three high-end first-party games into 2025, like what does 26, 27, and 28 look like? You know, like that's the part of where it's getting, you know, a little confusing when they still have possible Spider-Man 2 DLC hanging around, maybe. Like,
Which I almost feel like is canceled at this
I
point.
agree because we haven't seen it yet, but then it's like, okay, so then did they take that team and put them on Wolverine? Are they trying to get Wolverine out sooner? I don't think that they can do the Ghost 2 and Wolverine in a 90-day window. I think that's not smart. Like, I don't feel like that's smart. Now, if Ghost moves into May and June, like in that Uncharted window, March, April, May,
That's
and
what I was
then
gonna say.
and Wolverine, but if Ghost moves into March, April, May, you're talking about 6 months from announcement to release. That's not Sony. Like that's not
No.
Sony of the past.
But so Ghost released in 2020. So we're talking
Right.
about 5 years,
Yeah,
and
possibly same engine, like using a lot of the like we saw. Like it's not. I'm not saying any of this is bad. I think what you're getting at is like maybe the development is a little quote unquote easier because using I'm gonna just use stupid 5-year-old words, using the same wind engine and the same grasses, you know, the same engine's functionality of the grass and the weather
it's
effects.
roughly the same time period, so the trees don't have to look that different.
Supposedly 400 years in the future.
Trees haven't changed that much,
Right, no, I know.
You know, in terms,
It's not a
it's
different.
not like
It's not a different mantra of a game. It's still a
Yeah.
Ghost game.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
not infamous to Ghost. You know, like,
Yeah. You can get away with reusing some of those
yeah, absolutely.
nature assets.
The horse engine still exists.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
You know, because at this point you're just working on fidelity. You
Correct.
know, when we talk
Yep.
to developers that say adding fidelity is not really the challenge.
Right.
It's doing the engine work that like the stuff under everything. I feel like if this can come out before August, then there's a chance Wolverine's the holiday game. If it comes out August or beyond, then Wolverine is the spring game for
Yep.
2026.
Okay.
Is how I would see
Because
it.
Wolverine has not officially been announced, or what? No, yes, it has. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's had a trailer and I think internally Insomniac, what during those leaks said, it was a holiday 2025 game.
Yeah.
But that can always change because that's just an internal release date. We're
Right.
not supposed to see that release date.
Yeah.
So I can see Sucker Punch releasing this as long as it's not late into the summer, allowing Insomniac to release Wolverine. Because Wolverine would be unaffected by any other release because it's Wolverine.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
one's
100%.
no one's gonna be like, I don't want to pick up Wolverine because I just picked up a Sucker Punch game. They're
Agreed.
like, I'm picking up Wolverine no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, if Wolverine came out before this, then I would be worried about,
Right.
Ghost.
I'm
being
happy with my
successful.
$70 I spent on this. I don't need to. I can wait for Ghost to go on sale.
Yeah, but I do see your concern of just like, okay, we trust Insomniac will get a game out relatively quickly. Sucker Punch takes 5 to 6 years to release a game, so now you're saying Sucker Punch is out until the PS6 after this.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, will Naughty Dog be the next studio up? Maybe, but they just had a huge thing they were working on canceled, and
Yeah.
Sony Santa Monica maybe would be up next after that.
A
We have to
sci-fi
do
game.
a
Yeah.
Actually, we're gonna do a Patreon episode soon, and we're gonna do an MCU one. We should just do like let's fix the PlayStation Studios developments, and then do an
Good idea.
Xbox one.
Yeah. But
Because it's
over-
hard to tell who's next up.
Yeah. Overall, I tweeted this week. This is probably the most balanced and good to great state of play that I think Sony's done in multiple years.
Oh yeah, it's funny. I walked away with less things that I want to play from this, but I also think this was one of their better presentations.
I mean,
because
like,
I think
just
of things
good,
objectively.
a good, yep,
you know?
good balance. Like, oh, okay, Astrobot, like riding that wave right off the beginning. Hey, you guys love this game. We love you for loving this game. Here you go. A better reason. 2 weeks ago, I'm like $700. Screw you, PS5 Pro. Last week, I'm like, maybe that looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to see it. And then, just a little bit of stuff, more Dragon Age, some Lunar Remastered, Legacy of Kain Remastered.
Here's some DLC stuff
yeah,
for
some
Alan Wake.
Even the small stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder Revenge DLC, little things, the Lego Horizon game, like that you didn't put on the punch list, but those are all like that. I think that Lego Horizon game's over the top, but there's a market for it. I'm not the market for it. I don't know if Owen wants it yet. He hasn't seen it yet. Keanu Reeves and Sonic, cool.
Yeah,
like just a lot of
here's new colors for the
Yeah.
PS5 controllers and stuff like that.
just
like
a lot
this
of
was
like very
well-balanced.
well paced, very well shown, very enough talking but not too much talking. Like it was just a really good show. And then a first party studio showing something that is not Insomniac. Great job.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Though I will say, I for the love of God, I do not want any more Monster Hunter. I am buying Monster Hunter day one. I knew
there
that.
is a lot of games on February 28th. Have you started to write
Yeah.
this down?
Yeah. I knew I was gonna buy Monster Hunter Wilds after like the 10th trailer,
Yeah.
but now
If Capcom is writing the check, Sony's sure you can have a spot. Go ahead.
Yep.
like
I'm just as soon as I saw a Monster, because I didn't watch it live. As soon as I saw a Monster Hunter, I just kept hitting skip
Yeah.
because I'm just like I'm done seeing it. I know what I'm getting and I
Yeah.
want it, so leave me alone.
yeah.
But we did
I
get a
just-
release date, so that was good.
Just good show. I mean, good. Kudos to Sony. Great show, top to bottom. Like there was not a point in time that I was like, oh, really? That where I was like, oh, okay, now they're gonna show like 5 PSVR 2 games. Okay, I'm gonna check out. They balanced all of it. They slided it in, put some other stuff in, slid it out, put it back in. Like I think they did a great job. Like very well paced.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I got you.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that I also think this was a good presentation for PSVR 2.
yep.
Like because it's been something that we've really criticized PlayStation with the last couple state of plays. Is like when we don't even own a PSVR 2,
Yep.
but like we know people that own it, we kind of feel bad for them.
Yeah.
And this one was like, hey, here's like 2 major franchises that are having PSVR 2 games that are coming out soon, and then also here's some random stuff from the developers of Lost in Random,
Mm-hmm.
and some of that some of these other games that were shown here. Like it was just a really good presentation for like the entire like PlayStation like ecosystem.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then hey, Shredder's Revenge is getting like it got what, a new
two
DLC,
characters and some more music. Cool.
yeah, which is
Like-
pretty cool. And I think the music was free. I don't know about the characters, but
Yeah.
like still like that. I'm tempted to re-download that game. I
Right.
didn't play the last time they dropped characters.
Right. So, yeah. I mean,
But yeah.
overall, very, very, very good show from PlayStation. So, great job.
Yeah,
Enough
very good job.
enough that the rumors are for what's delayed that Ubisoft saw Ghost of Tsushima 2 and said, "See ya, we got to go back and work on Shadows some more."
But also made it line up more with Ghost's like release date. So like,
Yeah,
it's a risky play. But we'll see.
I hate this because this was I don't even know. Do we know the original release date of this?
I want to say October or November.
Yeah, so this is
I wanna say-
inside my 90-day window shit.
Yeah.
I am not happy about this. I have no desire to play this game. I have moved on from Assassin's Creed, but it is September 25th, and this game was coming out before
November
Thanksgiving.
12th.
Yeah.
November
So
12th.
6 weeks, 7 weeks, and now you delay the game. People like similar to what you just talked about with like Dragon Age are taking time off work. Somebody might have
Yep.
submitted TO for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and now they're either have to recant it or not play it on that Tuesday or Wednesday they took
Yeah.
off work. Like not cool, Ubisoft. Like not cool at all. I get it. You want to release the best available product, and it's probably the best available thing for your game. But you knew this in July or August.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's an appreciated or underrated comment in terms of like, we take time off for these games. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's something that like, and we're not weird for doing that. I know a ton of people
Yeah.
when their favorite game or franchise is going to come
People do
out.
it for movies. They go to the movies on
Yeah.
Thursday night, take Friday off because they're gonna be out till like 1:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the idea that, you know, like you put that request in for time off and then you're just like, well, I got to pull it back. And some of your jobs don't let you do that if you don't have enough
They're
time.
like, no, it's on there. Sorry, you got to use it now.
Yeah. It's already spent, or you got to call human resources
Yeah.
and fill out this form. Like there's weird shit like that. So like sucks they're delaying it. It'll be funny if they do push it just close enough to Ghost's release date, because then that's
February. There's no
us.
way Ghost is coming in February or March, man.
That's
no
if
way.
Ubisoft hits February.
I know, but there's still
Yeah.
no way that Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in the next 6, or Ghost of Tsushima 2, Ghost of Yoti, Yodai.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, whatever.
We need to hear someone say it. Please, someone say it.
Ghost 2 is what I'm
Yeah.
going to say. I'm telling you right now, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. There's no way it's coming out before Easter. No way.
No, I think it would be like you know, Naughty Dog would always release in June.
June.
That's the earliest I think we're getting it.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, back to Ubisoft. Stop it. You're already struggling enough. Stop it.
Hey, but did you know that one game's not dead? Apparently, they're what is the shooter game that they keep trying to remind people is still alive?
Division 3?
No,
Or
the other one. The one that-
X-Defiant.
X-Defiant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they released a couple statements being like, the game's not dead, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, they're hiring for Division 3, and I'm like, okay, like you're kind of killing Division 2 slowly. Like, stop, and then say we're working on Division 3 and just go silent.
Sox won, so there's hope, Dave. Sox just won.
Yeah, nice.
There's hope that the Tigers can beat them for the record.
In person for me. I'll send my ticket to you digitally.
That ticket might be worth something, because it's gonna be a while before a team sucks this hard. Except for next year. There's always next year for the White Sox.
All right, so what we're playing and watching, mine has been a lot of baseball, just because like what the Tigers are doing, like Michael and I are kind of joking back and forth, but what the Tigers have been doing since like the middle of August is just freaking absurd. And I'm sorry if you're not a baseball fan, but this team was like 6 or 7 games below 500, and now after tonight's win, I think they're 10 games above 500. Like this is nuts. Like it I don't even know what to say, because like we're going to the game on Friday because I wanted to get downtown. Angelo's like, I want to take Owen. I'm like, I'm not exposing him to 40,000 people on a Friday night. So, and like I've got a sports filled weekend. Angela and I are going to the Tigers game on Friday, like I just mentioned. We're also going to the Michigan Minnesota football game on Saturday, and I leave for Vegas for work on Sunday. And I'll be in Vegas for a couple of days while the Lions are playing Monday Night Football, not against Vegas, but against Seattle. And the Tigers are possibly going to have a postseason game while I'm in Vegas. So there's definitely some cool stuff for me to check out there. But I will be in Vegas for a couple of days, work-related. It is 100% work-related, I promise. And I also looked at the weather for Vegas, and it looks absurd, like 95 degrees. Like this is like in September.
It's a rough 95, too,
yeah.
I'm telling you.
So I have never been to Vegas. I didn't go to PSX that was in Vegas. So I've literally never been to Vegas. So I am kind of, I do have a good chunk of time on Sunday to chill and do some stuff. So I am intrigued and excited about checking that out.
Trying to think of Dave activities for Vegas.
Yeah, some of it's going to depend on, like I said, if there's a Tigers.
Do you like pinball?
I can figure stuff out. I mean, I got
There's
little bit of time.
There's a pinball
here.
Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
It's like got all the world's largest
I want to
pinball
go to the
collection.
Raiders game, and I want to go to the Raider Stadium, but those tickets are so expensive. I wonder if I can just like walk up to somebody and give them like $50 and like let me in.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do StubHub the morning of,
Yeah.
you'll probably get someone who's just trying to get rid of their tickets.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. But so yeah, I mean, lots of baseball, lots of college football. Still, just I'm actually kind of more amazed. And I know it's been like 10 years since I hadn't really played Madden that much, so it's been a long time since I was doing just a lot of random online play. People play this game way too aggressively, and they get bit in the ass for it, and then they quit.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they'll
Sports
quit
games.
with like 10 seconds left on the clock because I got a pick that ended the game for them. Just let the clock run out and finish the game. Get the completion. Like don't get a DNF.
People quit in 2K if they don't win the tip off.
Yeah,
Like that's how sad
yeah, I'm just
sports games can be.
I guess there's been a couple times I've been down 10 points or 2 touchdowns, and I've come back and made it close, or I've lost on a last second field goal, I've won on a last second field goal. Like there's potential for great games, but people are just like, oh, they throw 3 picks and they're down 14-0 in the second, or like at the second quarter, like see ya. I'm like, okay. Like,
and then you catch them in the next game, and you're like, haha, here we are again.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the numbers that they show that are online. On a random what day did I have off this week? Tuesday. They were at like 1:00 in the afternoon Easter time. There was like 75,000 people online. Like I was impressed with that. Later in the night it was 250 to 300,000. Like, but I'm still enjoying the game. I'm having fun with it. That Zelda Echoes game comes out tomorrow. So I think the Switch is going with me to Vegas. I don't think I'm going to take the Switch and the ROG, so I think I'm just going to take the Switch. And it'll probably be a lot of Zelda Echoes. I want Plucky Squire. I'm trying to decide if I want to upgrade Plus for the rest of my subscription to get Plucky Squire, or if I just buy it on PC, or if I buy it on the Switch. Like I don't know. So that's been out for a couple of days, and I'm really interested in that. But I think it's going to probably be Zelda Echoes, because I would just hope I can just put some headphones on the plane and just lose myself in Zelda for like 4 hours. Like that's the hope.
And then when you get like destroyed from the heat in Vegas, you'll just be like, I'm just going to chill in this hotel room
and play Zelda. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be a great time for me to really put the cracked case through the paces. I have a GameCube inspired like Switch holder that's supposed to be a little bit bigger. Part of the thing I don't like about the Switch in handheld mode is how small the Joy-Cons are. This is supposed to offset that, so I will try to put some pictures of that out as well as I'm traveling and let you know. But the other thing is, I think I can actually like bring some wires, and this cracked case serves as a dock as well, so I might be able to just plug it right into like the hotel TV or something. So that should be kind of cool. But yeah, for the most part, that's it for playing and watching for me.
Yeah, for me, it was Platinuming Astro, which I did last week. Some of those levels that I needed to finish were diabolical. Like those little extra challenge levels were just fucking crazy. Then I picked up Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, which is exactly what you wanted from all those games being in just like one package. Like Capcom does such a good job with just like that museum presentation stuff of like, here's old concept art, here's like a jukebox with all the music and sound effects. All that stuff is just great. I hope Capcom keeps doing it. They have a hell of a library that they can just do this for a couple more games. But yeah, no, it plays exactly the way you wanted. One thing that did throw me off though is I don't remember it being so dark looking. Because it was definitely like when you're in the menus and it's like bright, and then when it gives you like that arcade emulation, like it just feels like the color loses a little bit of brightness when you're playing it, and that threw me off a little bit.
Is there any settings in there you can mess with, or?
I believe there's some filters that I can do, and I can mess with the aspect ratio a little bit. But it just seems like that's just how the games looked back then. We just didn't know because they were just on.
It looked great to us.
Yeah. So just seeing that was a little odd. I did most of my play time in like offline mode, just trying to get the hang of everything again. So I haven't really dabbled with online.
You're gonna get pummeled probably.
Oh yeah, I mean there's people returning it on PC because like one of the all-time great fighting game people was determined to be number one on each platform. So he was destroying people, and matchmaking isn't great.
Yeah.
In the game. And then there's also, it's missing some features, like there's no quick rematch in the game. So that's there's a little stuff that I hope they can maybe eventually patch in. Yeah. But in terms of like, if you wanted like a as close to perfect as you can get emulation of those games, this is it. Like this is a nice package. I picked it up digitally. I have a physical copy pre-ordered on PlayStation and Nintendo, so I'm waiting for those to come out in November. Just because it is one of those things where these games have been on consoles before, and they always get delisted because the license is not for, ever. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're thinking of picking this game up, maybe after it goes on sale for the first time, you should probably pick this game up because it's not a guarantee it's going to be around for more than a couple years. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be like me, who passed it up on the PS3 and couldn't get that any other time. So definitely worth checking out if you love those fighters. I got it just so when I have friends over, we can play Marvel vs. Capcom. And Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is like my favorite fighting game. Also,
Nice.
highly recommend that. I will probably start doing online soon. I still feel like I'm not fully into the rhythm I used to be in, but I also am getting old and not using a fight stick.
'Cause
So
you're old. You're old.
yeah, I'm gonna build out my arcade machine because I'm gonna have space for it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to put a PS4 inside that arcade machine.
I'll tell you what I've realized that, I mean, like now that you talked about that, about, you know, your rhythm with the fight sticks, what I've realized as, like, again with college football is, I've been playing a lot on Xbox just because that's where my One Dynasty is the most active. I think I mentioned I bought it on both platforms.
Yeah.
I beat the shit out of those sticks when I'm playing on when I play on.
You don't realize it sometimes.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
sometimes I'm at home by myself. I don't have the headset on anymore, so I'm just like, and you just hear that click, 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 click. You know, when I'm trying to do like hit stick, I'm like wham, and I'm like, oh, no wonder I have stick drift. Like,
Yeah, you might want to get the Elites or the PlayStation controller too, and just so you can swap out those analog sticks.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, but that's it for playing for me. I'm also rewatching Community, so I've just been doing a couple episodes of Community from then. Work's been kind of intense lately, so I've just been
Nice.
Kinda
Not that work's
in
been
my
intense,
own-
but just watching stuff just to turn your brain off is. I
Basically.
understand that. So
yeah. So you know, at the end of my workday, the last thing I want to do is think or challenge myself with a video game. So I'm like, hey, this comedy will make me laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put
and
this
hence
on for
why
a
I
couple
watch the
episodes.
shows that you shake your head at that I watch. So
There are good ones you could watch, Dave. you just choose the bad ones. There are good ones. But yeah, that's it for me. I'm tempted to pick up the Dead Rising remastered, but I just can't justify spending $50 on a remaster, even though I just spent like $60 on that same remaster like 5 years ago.
yeah.
Because I do have the PS4 remaster of that game, and now there's a PS5 remaster, and I just can't justify the cost yet. So I have it wish list, and as soon as it goes on sale, I'm gonna pick it up.
Nice.
Hopefully
Okay.
for the holidays.
All right, so we do have one question. Branham actually wrote a question in and put it in the Ask DDG Discord channel, Ask Digital Days. So he wrote, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, equal parts or the correct answer of more peanut butter than jelly? I'm going to let you go first because I think your answer might be a little interesting on this.
Yeah, I think we might have had this question in the PS Nation days. So I would say 0 and 0 because
Yeah.
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are
Yeah,
trash.
that's what I
and
thought.
hate
That's what I
them.
thought.
Yeah,
So-
no, they're disgusting, and I don't understand. Like, it's okay to realize that things you had in your childhood were terrible and to move on from them.
I don't mind peanut butter and jelly. And to the point where like I actually really like crunchy peanut butter. And
Oh.
the answer is that you peanut butter both pieces of bread and then you put the jelly on top of the peanut butter so it doesn't seep through the bread. That's what you use the
Yeah,
peanut
that
butter
seems
as a
like
barrier.
a very logical thing if you liked that, and
Yeah.
I just don't. I never.
Are you? I guess
People,
a follow up question that I have, like you do eat like sandwiches, right? Like you will eat like
Yeah.
like you'll like, I mean, like a ham sandwich, a turkey sandwich, like you would make yourself a sandwich at home or some
Yeah.
form of a sandwich. Are you ever like
grilled cheese and
Perfect.
that stuff. Yeah.
Are you ever like putting like potato chips in a sandwich kind of guy?
No, I saw that in Boy Meets World, and I was like, no, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm,
So you're
that's
never like
stupid.
Doritos inside of like a ham sandwich
No,
or something
why
like
would I
that?
do that? I will get a bag of chips on the side
Right.
when I go to like a Subway or Potbelly's,
Yeah.
but I'm not putting the chips. I'm not in that much of a hurry that I need
Yeah.
to throw the
But
chips
you
into my
like you're
sandwich.
not opposed to like getting some good bread and having it at home and having like fresh cut deli meat and tomato and mustard
Yeah,
and
yeah.
cheese and making a
I
sandwich.
like bread. Like
Okay.
if you're telling me like, hey,
No. I just didn't know. Sometimes some people are like, I'm not making a sandwich at home. I'll go down the street and get it from like Jersey Mike's or Potbelly or whatever.
No,
versus-
I would like to make a sandwich. I have the problem where like I'll make a sandwich like 2 times when I first get like the deli meat and bread, and then I stop making the sandwich, and then I realize like, oh no, the turkey went bad.
And my wife's all over me right now that I'm wrong. I don't make those sandwiches. I don't make those sandwiches because my wife does the grocery shopping and she thinks that crunchy peanut butter is nasty, so I have to tolerate whatever she buys.
Yeah. In Kentucky public school, Detroit public school, or Michigan, I forget where
Metro
you're-
Detroit Public School, yes.
Okay. Did you have the peanut butter jelly sandwiches that were in the aluminum foil with like the blue aluminum and
No, I went to at least a slightly upscale public school, sir.
Oh, okay. So they just someone put the jelly in.
No,
the
I don't think we had peanut
fresh
butter
for you?
jelly as part of hot
Okay.
lunch. Like I
Yeah,
think it
no.
was
So
like we had like the foldable pizza. Like we had that square.
no,
like
we
the-
had that too.
yeah.
So basically, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at Chicago public schools come in like a very distinct like aluminum foil thing, and they would only have them for breakfast.
That sounds like a 20-year-old
Or-
version of the Uncrustable.
Yeah, or they would have them if like something went wrong with lunch, like they were breakout in case of emergency, like oh shit, they didn't get the order or something went
Yeah,
bad with the kitchen.
I don't think I ate a lot of hot lunch at school. And I don't think that peanut butter and jelly was ever an option.
I mean, people really liked them, and I think that's why I don't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because I just remember those sandwiches being nasty.
I used to make and I haven't done this in a while, and I do like my and Angela, like sometimes she doesn't realize I do this, and she doesn't care that if I did or didn't do it, but it's been a long time since I did it, like years. Like I don't think since Owen's been born. But I used to make like a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like you would like 2 pieces of bread sandwich and then put some more on there and put another piece of bread on there and make like a like a double like a 2 patty Big Mac but like with a bunch of breads.
You would go all out. I just put it in the Ask Digital Days gaming channel. What the sandwich looked like. I don't know if that would
Okay.
pop any memories for you.
Probably not, but I've also like disoriented a ton of that time frame in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, they would come in that very distinct.
No chance. Absolutely not.
That is unfortunately a staple of Chicago public school lunches and breakfasts. Like the foldable pizza was totally a thing, and I also thought that pizza was fucking trash. And then
I don't
also,
remember if it was or wasn't. I just know it was pizza and I ate it. Like I probably like ate terrible public school food for a while, you know.
Yeah. But that peanut butter and jelly sandwich haunts my dreams. Because
sometimes this looks like something you would buy, like it would be like Myers generic ice cream sandwich packaging or something.
This feels like a corner store sandwich. Like they would keep these in the fridge or freezer, and then you would just grab one because you only had 50 cents on you. Yeah, these are terrible. I hate them, but there's some people that have nostalgia for it because they don't understand how to figure out childhood trauma. But yeah, join our Discord if you want to see the sandwiches I'm talking about.
That does not even like I haven't even seen it out of the wrapper, and I don't want to eat that.
Oh no! If you, I will grab wrapper photos, but it is not great.
Yeah,
like at all.
So
hold on, let me. I'm gonna grab another photo for you, Dave.
Yeah.
Again, join our Discord if you want to see random photos of peanut butter jelly sandwiches from Chicago Public School. Let me know if your school had them. I am interested to know. Here you go, Dave. This picture is gonna make you gag.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
Look at that. That's not even. If I was gonna do it, you would want peanut butter and jelly on top of each other, not like put sections.
That's like
that.
A Neapolitan ice cream sandwich.
Yeah,
peanut butter and jelly.
It's fucking terrible. And I swear to God, there's enough. If you talk to people from Chicago, they have trauma that they'll say they love those sandwiches. Nasty. I feel like even at 7 or 8 years old, like I'm still gonna be hungry after I eat that. Probably. Well, you were also like 6'5".
Like, just like
that age.
I don't think I could do it. So, all right. Yeah. So that is our show for this week because I'm gonna go throw up from looking at that and thinking that Michael had to eat that as a balanced diet. You can follow us on Twitter at Digital Days Pod. You can follow Michael at the First MJC. You can follow myself at Good Dave Hunt. I will try to tweet a little bit this week while I'm in Vegas. And some stuff with the cracked GameCube. Yeah, GameCube.
Do you like
looking
Hell's
Switch.
Kitchen? Do you watch Hell's Gordon Ramsay stuff?
No, I don't. So.
Oh, okay. His restaurant's over there.
Yeah, food is food. The company's paying for it. So yeah, we'll definitely. I'll see what's going on with that. Join our Discord server so you can look at those terrible peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that Michael was subject to. This is why public school needs a rebuild. And you can join our Facebook group as well. Patreon is there, just like Michael talked about, like a little bit of teasing of Patreon. So patreon.com/digitaldaysgaming. Next week's show is probably an 80% chance that it happens, 20% chance that it doesn't. Flight dependent, travel dependent, also news dependent because sometimes it's just slow.
Yeah.
So we'll try to keep you guys up to date on what is going on with that. And I hope everyone has a great week and keep moving forward.
Don't be a dick. See ya. All right.
All right. If anybody is still hanging out, we appreciate you guys hanging out and watching and, sometimes chatting or just kind of just chilling. So thank you guys. We'll talk to y'all later.